Things I wish I knew. We're continuing on the topic of time management, and the 10 things for better time management, we call it SPADE. We're in the last section. How do we eliminate distraction? Email messages, phone calls. The new season of Netflix have just dropped in. How can we expect to concentrate when you have all these different distractions? It seems as if the universe is conspiring against us. How can we outsmart this? The Harvard Gazette says that the human mind wanders 47% of the time while awake. The average American unlocks their iPhone 80 times. So it's not just the frequency of these interruptions. After you get interrupted, it takes you 10 to 20 minutes to get back to concentrate on the work and task you're doing. So, shallow work, which is low value, which has lots of multitasking, working on multiple projects, emails, actually divide your cognitive attention. And this distraction does not lead for you to make productive work. The best way to overcome half work is by focusing a significant amount of time on one thing and eliminating everything else, every distraction you can have. We call this deep work. Deep work was a term defined by Cal Newport in his book, Deep Work. Professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive ability to their limit. These efforts create value, improve your skills, and are hard to replicate. He calls the equation high quality work produced is equal to the time spent on that activity multiplied by the intensity of focus. So, how does deep work work? Cal Newport defines 4 rules for deep work. The first rule is how do you work deeply? As you start to work deeply, you need to define 4 disciplines. One, pick the task which is widely important. This is our big frog and activity to work on. Create lead measures. That is, I want to spend more time in deep work and make sure that you're tracking that appropriately. 3, keep score. How much time did you spend on deep work and how much time did you spend on shallow work? Create a sense of accountability. Make sure you have somebody with you or make yourself accountable by looking at your calendar and codifying how much time you spend on deep work. Second, it's as important to prioritize deep work as it is to prioritize downtime. Downtime actually improves our thinking. Newport notes that our conscious brain takes time to rest, and our unconscious mind takes time to sift through multiple different complex professional challenges. So give time so that you can make sure that you can recover back from activities. Downtime also replenishes our ability to practice deep work. And finally, deep work cannot be done 24 by 7. Set time limits for when you can do deep work. The third rule is how do you start to develop a habit of digital minimalization. Newport suggests self-imposed social media ban and tries to look at a 30-day window to see what exactly do you need to do with your social media activities. This gives you the ability to get distraction out of shallow work into deep work. And finally, he wants to know how do you drain the shallows or how do you purge shallow work from your life? Maximizing deep work in your schedule and holding your ability to perform that deep work is going to get you quite a bit of traction to solving the most critical and important tasks and activities you need. Schedule your day methodically. Make sure that you're assigning deep work and shallow work efforts. Get your boss on board. Tell them that at this point in time, I'm doing deep work. Please do not interrupt me. It would take time to work against the status quo, but you can do that. And finally, limit your workday so that you can make sure that you have enough time for deep work and in also prioritize time for shallow work or downtime. As you start to put deep work in practice, how do we create a deep work routine? Create a location where you can start to do deep work. I can work from my home office. My door should be closed. Keep a duration. What are the chunks of time you're going to allocate towards deep work? Create a structure so that your phone is in silent mode and you can disable things which will not distract you. And finally, make sure that you have all of the different requirements which will avoid you from getting distracted. A typical deep work calendar could be that you put a deep work session early in the morning, do routine and shallow work, get back to that deep work again in the afternoon, and then prioritize your evening to reflect on how you're doing, and then also create yourself some downtime. When I started this, I reviewed Benjamin Franklin's diary, and Benjamin Franklin absolutely prioritizes deep work in the morning, afternoon sessions, as well as reflection. So, what can we take out of this episode? Anyone can do shallow work. You're going to get distracted. As you start to eliminate distraction and start to focus your time on what is most important to you, you need to actively train yourself and your mind and make sure that you're doing truly valuable work. Business is going to prioritize shallow work, but take time to create deep work, which is to stretch your mind to make sure that you can create meaning for your life. I hope this episode helps you create a superpower of deep work and make sure that you can take this with you as you start to do all your time and time management activities. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this episode.